Meg Recchi. There's no way. Are you really on this webinar right now? Meg, unmute yourself.
Yes, I am. Yeah. But I'm just driving,
Oh, Meg,
so I'm
do you
not
know
going to
how
be a
many times
video.
do you know how many times I messaged, texted, emailed you, zero response about the scholarship application you put in?
I think I applied for it. I don't know, and I think been getting the emails, but I don't think I'm selected.
That
So
that
I
was
was just
me
kind of like,
messaging
oh, okay.
you. I was messaging you to talk about it.
Oh,
So next time
okay.
reply to your messages, Meg.
I thought it was bot because literally everybody just keeps messaging, and it's like an ad messaging, right?
I thought you were just like a spammer,
So
like you weren't a real person. I'm like, and then I see you on the webinar. I'm like, no, I'm gonna give her a lot of shit
no,
for not
no, no,
answering.
no, 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 no. No, I
Okay.
was with Agent Locator for a very long time. So, yeah, and I saw their, like, you were part of their workshops. So, yeah, no, I
Okay.
am definitely interested, but
All right.
um,
So just Meg, for everybody else who's like, who the hell is this? What are they talking about? Let's get on with this. Message me back. Good.
okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good to see all of you guys today. Here's what I need. We are going to be working on objections. I'm going to teach you some stuff. Then I'm going to role play with those of you who are brave enough to do it. And then those of you who raise your hand and want to take a shot at winning $5,000 worth of training, don't do what Meg has done and answer us when we message you later on. How does that sound, everybody? Good? Okay. Now, turn your cameras on if you are not operating a motor vehicle and if you are appropriately dressed, at least from the waist up. Please turn your cameras on. Or if the camera is not pointed waist up, don't turn it on. Okay, I got one. Sean Patterson. Thank you, Sean Patterson. Naraya, turn your camera on. Chris Morelli, turn your camera on. Cindy, hello, Chris. Cindy Rango, turn your camera on. Bob Groves, Matt S., Sabrina, Seema, Hamid, Bill, and Tushar, turn on your cameras. I'm doing this training for you guys for free. And the thing that I ask is that you are present, because the more people that are present gives me more energy, which means that I'm more inspired to make more of an impact in you. How does that sound, everybody? Do you want me to be inspired to make an impact in you? Turn your cameras on. For those of you who have your cameras on, thank you very much. Okay, let's get started. So, question game. This is what we're working on today. We're working on objections and people saying no to you. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dale Archdeacon, the founder of Smart Sales Coaching. By show of hands, how many of you are new here and have not seen training by us yet? Oh, so we got a few new people. Okay, good. Our sales training is the best content in our real estate industry right now, and here's why. Because I just want you to understand where this information is coming from real quick. Me and my partners ran a team, and we took in over $4 million in GCI in 1 year, right? We had about 30 agents, and we were doing over 650 transactions per year. That is a lot of transactions. Within that team, I built and optimized an inside sales department. Now, these are these are the good numbers that I got to, right? To where my ISAs individually, in their first 12 months, could produce 36 to 60 transactions per ISA for our team. Of course, the backstory of that is it took me a lot of learning and screwing it up and wasting money to get to that point, but I was able to get to that point. And me, when I was in production, primarily as a listing agent, on average, I would take between 5 to 7 listings per month from cold outbound prospecting. Why am I telling you this? It's not because I'm bragging. It's because anybody can tell you how to talk to leads. Anybody who just got a real estate license can say they're a sales trainer. Anybody who just sold their first house can get on the internet and tell you that you should have these conversations in this way. And the crazy thing to me is that a lot of trainers and gurus in our industry talk from theory. They don't actually talk from experience. They don't do it. What's crazy to me is there's trainers and gurus out there teaching our industry how to sell real estate who literally have never sold real estate, which is also crazy to me. Many people teaching real estate sales have never sold real estate, and I've successfully taught thousands of people how to convert at a high level. The reason that I'm pointing this out to you is because there are lots of ways to teach people how to do things and how to say things. There are things that work, there are things that don't work, and there are things that work better than others. I'm teaching you the stuff that works better than others. Okay? How's that sound, everybody? Good. So our company specializes in lead conversion. What we do is expert sales scripting, texting, email messaging that actually gets answered. We also work with our clients to help them with effective and efficient CRM processes, like how to work your leads through the system. And we have a collaborative community of other top producing agents who do the same thing. So today, I think you might have seen the messaging for attending. If you stick around, at the end, I'm going to show you how you can enter to win a full ride scholarship to our 12-week training boot camp that is worth $5,538 in value. And I'll give you the details at the end. But first, let me give you a free sample of expert level training. Does that sound good, everybody? Shake your faces yes. Okay, good. Let's see. So obviously we have lead gen skills, scripting, messaging, systems, processes, mindset. Today we're working on the scripting and messaging part. And within that, over the course of my 20 years of training people to sell and being in sales for 30 years, I've really kind of distilled down scripting and dialogue and messaging to two categories. One category I call the core four. The other category, obviously more advanced techniques and strategies. But the core four consists of introductions, how you get into conversations with people. Objection handling, right? Objection handling is one of the core four strategies or methodologies. Value propositions is the third. Basically, you can think of value proposition in real estate. Like if I said, hey, Gene, why should I buy a house with you instead of another agent? Or, hey, Michael, why should I list my house with you instead of another agent? That's where value proposition starts to come in. And then logical closes, right? Asking for appointments. These are the core four, especially when we get down to closing for appointments. By show of hands, how many of you are not on track to hit your goals for this year? Either not on track to hit your goals, or you could be doing more and you know you could be doing more. Yeah. So if you're not on track to hit your goals or you know you could be doing more, it really comes down to the appointments that you're going on, right? You have to go on the appointment in order to get the piece of business. So that's where the closing comes in. And so these are the core four. And today we're working on objections. Within that, I'm giving you kind of the baby step into our objection handling process. What I find is that a lot of salespeople don't have a good process to follow. And I'm going to teach you here kind of what the typical process looks like for a salesperson. And I'm going to argue that I can measure the skill set or the experience of a salesperson strictly by how they objection handle. And I'm going to teach you how that is. All right, so I want you to write this down. I love Alex Hormozy. Anybody here follow Alex Hormozy? Like biggest internet marketing guru right now. Super cool stuff. Like I bought pretty much all of his stuff. Even flew out to Vegas for his 2-day event. It was pretty awesome. So he says writer downer. I'm the one that said what's in the middle. He says writer downer. But I want you to understand this from my experience, 30 years in sales and 20 years in training. The quality of your sales leads is directly proportional to the quality of your sales and marketing skills. And today we're talking about sales skills. We're talking about scripting and dialogue, okay? The marketing part is out of the scope of this training, but we specialize in the skill part around sales. Objections. Before we get into how to handle objections, I want to go through this little thought experiment with you, okay? I want to know about what you hate about salespeople. Tell me what you guys hate about salespeople. Chat it in for me. Chat in, what do you, as a consumer, in your day-to-day life, what do you hate about salespeople? Chat it in. Not listening, fake, relentless, pushiness. Yep. Don't know what they're selling. Too much info sharing. Okay, got it. I don't know if Tushar's talking about me or what he hates about salespeople. Okay, so we as consumers understand salespeople, right? We thank you, Tushar. We regard salespeople in a certain way, and people say they're pushy. They say they don't listen. They say they don't take no for an answer. They try to change your mind, right? These are the things that you guys are saying in the chat here that we hate about salespeople. And the purpose of me making you go through that thought experiment, haven't you noticed that most of the time when you have sales training, if they're teaching you about objections, what do they teach you to do? A lot of times they teach you to make the lead wrong or to argue with the lead or to keep pushing, right? Isn't that what they teach you to do? But I thought we just said we don't like that about salespeople. So a lot of the training teaches you to do the things that people hate, to do the things that consumers don't like. And I want you to understand this. You are the only person who ever forgets you're a salesperson. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that in a conversation, when you are playing the sales role, the consumer has a perception about you before you even open your mouth, right? The consumer has an opinion about you. They have a perception about you. They put you into a category or they reduce you down to a singular idea. This guy over here, this guy's a car salesperson, right? What's the purpose of a car salesperson? What's their purpose? They have one purpose in this universe as it relates to a consumer, which is to sell a car, right? This guy's not a transportation consultant. This guy's not a vehicular consultant or shepherd or guide or, right? I'm not inviting this guy to my barbecue. The only reason I'm going to interact with this guy is if I need or want to buy a car. Yeah, that's his sole purpose. So when he approaches me, if I'm not trying to buy a car, then my answer to him is no, right? Not now, not yet. And if he tries to argue with me, does that make me like him better? No, it does not. So I want you to just put yourself, the best kind of salespeople can hold two ideas in their head at the same time. They can understand what their purpose is as a salesperson, but at the same time, they can understand how they're being perceived by the consumer. And so, especially when we talk about objections, I just want you to understand the perspective of the consumer. And the perspective is, this is what they're thinking when they start to say, no, not yet, not with you, not under these circumstances. The consumer, the prospect is thinking, I'm right and I'm justified to say no or not yet or not you. They're thinking, don't try to change my mind, salesperson, right? I don't want to engage on this. And they're thinking, hopefully this ends the conversation, right? Right, everybody? Okay. So when you, in objection handling, there are really only 5 things that you can do if you're going to engage with the objection. There's 5 things you can do. And I'm going to show these to you right now, right? There's 5 objections of elements of objection handling. There's actually 6. Number 6 is ignore it. Ignore the objection. Now, let me just give you a quick rule about ignoring objections. There's really only 2 scenarios where objections come up. When a consumer gives you an objection, they're either trying to stop the conversation with you using the objection, in which case you have to address it, right? Hey, Jonathan, thanks for the call, man, but I already have an agent I'm working with. They are stopping that conversation. I have to address it, or I get kicked off the phone, or I get kicked out of the conversation. The other option is, oh, hey, yeah, Jonathan, we're thinking about making a move, and we wanted to move over here. We're thinking about this price, and we were working with my sister, who's an agent, and she's been showing us, and they keep on going and telling you stuff. You don't have to stop. You don't have to address it in the moment. You can ignore that one. Let that one go, okay? You're going to let that one go, and you're going to continue building rapport, getting discovery, so that you can make it less likely that when you start to handle the objection that they shut you down, all right? So number 6 is ignore it. You ignore it if it's not a conversation stopper. All right, so let's talk about the 5 things you can do when you have to address objections. And remember I said that I can measure the skill set or the experience of a salesperson by how they objection handle? Here's the basic one. This is, well, that's not even the basic one. The most basic one is that the salesperson rolls over and dies when somebody objects, right? Oh, hey, thanks, man. We're just looking for now, not looking to work with an agent. Okay, thanks. Call me when you're ready. That's a roll over and die, okay? Your basic salesperson, one of the 5 is closing. They'll try to close for something. Oh, hey, thanks, Gene, but we're not buying until next year. We'll give you a call when we're ready. Oh, got it. Well, I would love to send you some properties in the meantime. That's a close. I've made an offer to you. I've asked you for a decision, right? Or an action. That's a close. That's your most basic thing that a salesperson does. The next thing that they do is they'll pitch. Maybe they'll persuade, right? Oh, got it. You're not buying until next year. Well, that's fantastic, man. Listen, I have a lot of great properties that you can't see on the internet. I'd love to give you specific access to it. I can turn that on for you and be sending you properties. So that's a pitch and a close, right? I pitched you, I'm persuading, and then I'm asking you for an action or a decision. You get it? That's kind of the next level. That's number 2. Number 3. Now's where we get into like educating. Gene says, hey, I'm not going to buy until next year. Oh, got it. That's really interesting. Well, I'm not sure if you know this, but right, as far as we know, the interest rates are as low as they're going to get for the foreseeable future, which means it could make more sense if you actually bought this year. You might get a savings. Is that something that we could talk about? So that's educating, pitching, closing. Got it? That's kind of the next level of skill set. Then we get into disputing. This is disagreeing or with a perspective or information. Oh, you're buying next year. Wow, God, that's kind of risky, because based on everything that I've heard, we could actually end up with interest rates higher, which means your payment's going to end up being higher. I'm sure you don't want that. So you could end up getting the perfect home now or one that checks all the boxes and save some money if you took action sooner. If we could find you the perfect home now that checked the boxes and really made sense financially, is that something you'd be interested in? That's everything together, right? Disputing, educating, pitching, closing. Now, some of you are probably like, wow, that sounds really cool. I'm going to remember how to say that stuff to people. The point that I'm trying to teach you is that, although that may sound cool, and that might be the stuff that other trainers teach you, I'm going to teach you the 5th element that is the best way to approach most objections. And it's not doing the fancy stuff that I just said to you. Because do we like salespeople who try to change our mind or argue with us as soon as we object to them? Yes or no? Do we like them or do we not like them? We don't like them. Okay? Let me just show you how this works. It's so easy. The 5th one is discovering. Asking pure discovery questions. It's so simple, but it's a Jedi mind trick. And if you can do it right, the consumer doesn't even know that you're preparing to build your argument or to build your pitch or your close. So Gene says, hey, Dale, thanks, man, but we're not buying until next year. I just do something as simple as, got it. Hey, what's important about buying next year? Or, oh, okay, what's the advantage to buying next year? Or, oh, got it, Gene. How did you guys decide to buy next year? It's just so simple. Tell me how you made that decision. Tell me why. Tell me what's important to you. Tell me what the advantage is without me showing you that I want to change your mind or that I want you to do something different. You guys all get that? Super simple, right? You guys want to do it? You want to practice it? We should practice this today, shouldn't we? Okay. I think we should. Uh-oh. Hold on. There. Something weird just happened. Okay. So we're going to practice it today, and we're going to play the question game with you guys live. All right? Has anybody here, by show of hands, played the question game with me before? Or anybody? Mark Strang, Sheldon? Nobody else? Okay. So Mark and Sheldon, don't screw it up for everybody else. Have you guys heard that if you help a butterfly out of its cocoon or something, it will die because it doesn't develop the muscles to fly? if you guys know how to do this and you don't let these other people struggle and figure it out, it'll be harder for them to figure it out. So I'll go to you guys last. Here's the question game rules. Your question, what you're going to do, this discovery thing is asking a pure discovery question to an objection. Asking a pure discovery question. Here's the rules. It has to be direct, not indirect. Okay? So let me demonstrate direct versus indirect. Gene again says, I'm not going to buy till next year. Direct is, got it, Gene. What's important about buying next year? That's direct. That goes straight to the decision making that Gene has going on. Indirect might be something like, oh, got it, Gene. Well, when you guys do buy, how many bedrooms are you looking for? Why is that indirect? It's indirect because the answer to that question isn't going to help me understand how he's made that decision, right? It isn't going to give me the keys that I need to understand him and what he's trying to gain or avoid. Because we all do things, we make decisions to either do or not do something in order to gain or avoid something. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So it needs to be direct, not indirect. Yes, Mark, it also doesn't address the objection directly. No closes for obvious reasons. Okay? You know what's funny? You guys would be shocked at the number of times that I play this game. Even though I say this, I still have people who try to close me. And that's why we do this, because some of you salespeople don't actually realize what you're saying. And I'm going to help you learn that. No closes. Don't make me wrong. Hey, I'm not going to buy until next year. Oh, got it. Well, next year sounds kind of dicey. Prices might go up. Interest rates might go up. Does that make me right or wrong? Wrong. Don't make the prospect wrong. Okay, don't use the word why. Why are you buying next year? Why are you waiting to buy until next year? Why would we not use the word why? Why would we not use the word why? I'll tell you, it's confrontational. Here's how you know it's true. When in the course of your life has anything good coming from another human being directed at you started with why? Especially when you were a kid. Almost never. It's confrontational. And by its nature, we're salespeople. We are automatically confrontational, right? Automatically, no matter how nice you are, there's still some manner of confrontation there. Tell me more. How many of you have heard trainers be like, oh, when they object, just say, tell me more. It's magical. Yeah? You guys have heard that one? The magical tell me more? Tell me more is lazy. Gene says, oh, I'm not buying until next year. Oh, tell me more about that. Versus, oh, Gene, what's important about buying next year? Which of those questions is more likely to get you the information you need? The tell me more or the what's important about buying next year? The what's important about buying next year, it almost has to get you to the decision-making process. Versus the tell me more, which this guy can just ramble about stuff that doesn't really matter, right? So the only time that you use tell me more is when you're stumped and you can't think of anything else to ask. But I'm teaching you to ask better questions. Okay. Now, real quick, shameless plug. Stay till the end. I'm going to show you how to enter to win a full ride scholarship to our 12-week training boot camp worth $5,538 in value. And let's role play now. How does that sound? Okay. Here's what I need you to do, my role players. I want you to, at your screen, there should be like a little emotions or raise hand button. I want my role players to raise their digital hand and keep it up so that I know who my role players are. Don't put your hand back down. Who's going to role play with me? Michael Grabowski. I have one. Wait. Gene Donahue. There we go. Mark. Okay. We got a bunch of dudes. So I need Molly Reagan and Sabrina Imsels. Raise your hand. And I want people definitely who haven't done. Tushar's going to do it. Great. Let's see. Sabrina, do you know how to raise your digital hand? You don't. Okay, it's at the bottom of your Zoom window. It should be like emotions or reactions or something. Should be an option to raise your hand. Okay. Well, I'm just going to call on you anyway. All right, let's start with Michael Grabowski. Emily, can you please enable these people to unmute themselves?
I can unmute myself.
Hey, there we go. All right, Michael,
Yeah.
you're going to ask me a direct question to this objection. Michael, I'm not buying until next year.
Is there something specific about next year that you're not buying?
Okay. Gene Donahue, I'm not buying until next year.
Well, how did you folks decide that next year would be better than this year?
How'd you folks decide that next year be better than this year? Okay, good. Mark Strang, I'm not buying until next year.
What is it about next year that is attractive to you?
Okay. Molly Reagan, I'm not buying until next year.
Okay, got it. This year's almost up. Are you not ready to get going?
Wait a minute, everybody. What did she just do? What'd she do? Let's put it onto the chart of things.
Indirect.
I don't know. It was pretty direct, but what was it? Was it a pure discovery question?
Disputing.
Maybe a little disputing, but I feel like it was more like pitchy. It was almost a close too, right? It was like a pitchy close. Yeah? Okay. Now, Molly, thank you for doing that. And what Molly just demonstrated, everybody, is some of the fallacy that us salespeople have. We have this compulsion to like change people's minds. Yeah? When you say no, not yet, or not with you to a salesperson, how much do you deeply want them to try and change your mind immediately?
Like, not at all.
Ever, Molly? Do you ever want the salesperson to try to change your mind? No, you don't, right? Okay, let's do it one more time, Molly, where you're going to hide the desire to change my mind, and you're going to ask me a question to understand me, okay? And here's the way you also pressure test what you did, Molly. Will the answer to your question, which is, don't you guys want to do it now, is it necessarily going to help you understand how I'm making decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Molly, thanks, but I'm not buying until next year.
Okay. What is so great about next year?
What's so great about next year? Much better. Much better. At least the answer
Still a
to
little
that's going to help you
sassy.
understand me. What's that?
Still a little sassy or a little.
It's a little sassy, but it's the right direction.
Okay.
Okay. At least it wasn't like, oh, well, let me put you in this card today kind of stuff. Okay. Good. Tushar.
Understood. What's the reason? Sorry. Let me go again. Understood. Any specific reasons to purchase next year?
Any specific reasons to purchase next year? Good. Elizabeth Schiller. I'm not buying until next year.
What's holding you back?
What's holding me back from what?
From purchasing till next year?
Okay. I just wanted you to finish it and give me more of context, right? Good. Okay. Got it. Now, everybody, so we had some good, you guys are on the right track, right? We helped Molly get back onto the right track, but for the most part, everybody's on the right track. Now, I want to take this up just one more little level for you, okay? Let me ask you something. Actually, Matt S. didn't go. Matt S., I'm not buying until next year.
I'm curious, what makes making a move next year more appealing?
Good. Okay, now, I want to take this up just a little bit more, okay? We all understand that we as salespeople automatically bring a certain level of pressure to any conversation that we have with a consumer, right? You guys get that concept. It's not that we do it intentionally, but that's just the nature of the beast. So, when you say, if somebody says, for instance, I'm not buying until next year, and you say things like holding you back instead of waiting, what does the consumer feel like you want them to do?
Buy now.
Buy now, change your mind, hurry up, right? Now, do you guys want to be amazing salespeople, or do you just want to be good salespeople?
Amazing salespeople.
Amazing. I led you to that answer, right? Amazing salespeople. If you're a consumer and you say no salesperson, not yet salesperson, not with you salesperson, do you want that? If it sounds like that salesperson wants you to change your mind or they want to argue with you, how much do you want to give them more information?
Not a lot.
Probably not. Not a lot, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide that intention. We're not going to use words like waiting. We're not going to use holding you back. We're not going to use instead of. Does that make sense, everybody? Those are like negative things. Those are things that sort of demonstrate or that insinuate that you want to change their mind. I like to use the analogy of like the big bad wolf and sheep. Okay? Like we are the big bad wolf. And we have grandma's nightgown kind of on until we start to argue or we try to close or we ask for a decision. Then it's like, whoop, nope, I'm the big bad wolf. Here I am. Right? And the little sheep are like, I knew it. I'm out of here. So you want to try to hide that stuff. Does that make sense, everybody? Keep it under wraps as long as you can. So a pure question, hey, I'm not buying until next year. Got it. What's important about buying next year? How'd you guys decide to buy next year? Is there an advantage to buying next year? Notice there's no waiting, no holding you back, no instead of. It's all positive. And another analogy that I like to use is imagine that you have a drinking buddy. And your drinking buddy just said, I'm not buying until next year. And you're like, that's a great idea. I just don't understand how. That's what you want to be doing. Okay? Great idea. Tell me how it's great. Don't argue. Don't dispute. Good? Okay. I'm not going to make you guys do it again. I think you get the idea. We all get the idea? All right, let's move on to the next objection. I'm not ready to work with an agent yet. Let's give this a shot. We'll go back around the horn. Michael Grabowski. Hey, Michael, thanks for the call, man. I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
That's no worries. How come?
I like it. Good instinct, Michael. Good instinct. How come?
Yeah.
Can you take how come and can you bake it into a good question?
I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
Yeah.
Is there something holding you back or
Something holding you back from working with an agent.
working with an agent?
That's
Yeah.
what you wanted to ask. Okay. Now, we're good. We're getting good.
Okay.
Part that's not awesome is the holding you back, right?
Yeah.
It's the only not awesome part of that question, but you're on the right track. Thank you. Gene Donahue. Hey, Gene, I'm not ready to work with an agent yet, but thanks for the call.
Oh, okay. I understand. Just curious, what's going on behind that decision?
What's going on behind that decision? Okay. Not terrible. I'd like to hear you use some more of my words, though. Did I say I'm not ready to make a decision?
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You said decision. I said I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
Okay.
You said the word decision. I said I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
Okay.
Can you use more of my words in your question?
Can I interrupt quickly?
Sure.
Can you ask what makes a good agent for you?
Is that direct or indirect?
What kind of agent are you looking for?
Is that direct or indirect?
Direct?
Indirect.
Nope. Indirect.
Okay.
Indirect.
What
Why is
makes-
it indirect?
Yeah.
I say I'm not ready to work with an agent yet. And you say, what kind of agent are you looking for? Is
Oh,
that
okay.
direct to how I've decided or concluded I'm not ready? Or is that indirect?
Direct.
It's indirect, right?
Mhm.
Because what I'm looking for in an agent may have no bearing on whether or not I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
why it's
the way-
indirect.
So the way you respond has to have something to do with like the time frame.
The way that you think about it this way, in most cases, you
Yeah.
want to ask why. Why are you not ready to work with an agent? Why are you going to buy next year? Why are you this, that, or the other thing, right? You usually
Yeah.
want to ask some form of why, usually. But we just don't use the word why.
Yeah.
So as I think about this, Dale, so what the next question that came up for me then is, so how will you know when you're ready to work with an agent?
That's a great question. Or even just, when will you be ready to work with an agent?
Okay.
Could be, how will you know you're ready? Or could be, when will you be ready? Either one of those is perfectly good questions. And they're not challenging. They go along with what the person is doing. And it also fits with how they're making decisions. That's great. Let's see if we can come up with another one. How about Molly Reagan put her digital hand down, but you have to keep your digital hand up. Let's Molly Reagan. I'm not ready to work with an agent yet. Okay, you're muted. Sorry. There we go.
Okay, great. Do you know when you think you'll be ready for an agent?
Okay, when? Good. Elizabeth Schiller. I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
How long have you been looking?
Is that direct or indirect, Elizabeth?
Not sure.
Okay, so think about it this way. You want to understand how I've decided that I'm not ready to work with an agent, right?
Mhm.
And you asked, how long have you been looking? Could you get an answer to, could how long I've been looking have nothing to do with whether or not I think I'm ready for an agent?
Mhm.
That's why it's indirect. You want to take one more stab at it?
Hmm.
Elizabeth, I'm not ready to work with an agent yet.
When will you be ready? I think we already heard that.
That's good. When will you be ready? I like it. Okay.
You actually said that.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good question. Sean Patterson, I'm not ready to work with an agent yet, but thanks for the call.
What is it that you need to be ready to work with an agent?
What is it that you need to be ready to work with an agent? I think it's the right spirit. Little too close to a close for me, right? Almost sounds like a car, like the tell me what I need to do to put you in this car today. Like we're starting to border onto that. Okay. Mark Strang, I'm not ready to work with an agent yet, but thanks for the call.
Oh, what is it about working with an agent that you feel you're not ready for?
Oh my gosh. Did you guys hear that question? What is it about working with an agent that you feel you're not ready for? Okay. Did you guys hear that question? Why is that question magical, everybody? Why is that question magical?
Repeats all the words.
It does, Molly.
Hearing it,
What,
you're listening.
what does it also do?
Doesn't do any of the do not things. No closes.
True. True.
Doesn't use why.
True.
It makes the lead think about why they're not looking for an agent.
Yeah, why they're not ready. So here's what it does, everybody. It does a lot less of let me assume as the salesperson what you mean by working with an agent. Let me get you to explain it to me. Good? Okay. Meg Recchi wants to do it. Meg, I'm not ready to work with an agent yet, even though you're driving. I'll do this with you.
No, I'm back actually. I'm in the office.
Okay.
I totally understand. Timing is everything. But what would need to happen for you to make that decision?
So Meg, I want to teach you something. Have I made a decision?
Mm.
I have made a decision. What's the decision?
That you're not ready.
That I'm not ready yet. Okay, ask me a better question.
What would need to happen that you would, that would make you feel ready?
Okay. Now, listen to that question. What would need to happen to make you feel ready versus, oh, when would you be ready to work with an agent? Which of those do you think is going to fly better into the face of an objection with a consumer? The second one, when would you be ready? Because it doesn't sound like I'm trying to change your mind or manipulate you, right?
Right.
Is all that clicking?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you guys want to know why consumers get out of sales conversations with you? Why they shut you down? Why they won't answer your calls or your texts or your emails after they've interacted with you? Usually it's because you use some language that tipped them off, right? That's usually what happens. So if you're talking to a prospect, and a lot of the leads that we work, we just need to build relationships with them. We need to nurture them. We need to get them to stay with us over time so that they can then turn into business for us. But they'll jump off the phone with you, or they'll shut down the conversation with you if they feel like you're trying to change their mind or trying to argue with them. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Let's do one more. Oh, I have one more question here that you guys didn't hit on. What about, somebody says I'm not ready to work with an agent yet. What does work with an agent mean to you? When you say work with an agent, what does that mean to you? What about that question?
But doesn't it not touch on the time frame kind of thing?
What does working with an agent mean to you? How would that touch on time frame, Michael?
Like, I'm not ready to work with an agent, and then it's like, when will you be ready? But then it's like, what does working with an agent mean to you? It doesn't like touch on like, when will you be ready?
What does work with an agent mean to you? No, I don't feel like it does at all.
Yeah. So
Damn.
is that a good question to ask still?
I think it's a good question to ask.
Okay.
Because you'll get all sorts of different answers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the point of that question is that, I used to do this exercise when I would do this training, and I would go around and I'd say, Sean, what does working with an agent mean? Molly, when a consumer says work with an agent, what do they mean? And I'd ask you, Michael, and Elizabeth, and Mark, and, Matt. And I would literally get 7 or 8 or 10 different answers. And then I'd be like, all right, guys, so which one does that prospect mean when they say, I'm not ready to work with an agent? Which version of work with an agent do they mean? And it would take people a little while, and then they'd be like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, why don't you try asking them? You get it?
Okay.
Yeah. Ask the consumer what they mean. So it's just another option that you can do. And it helps sort of take you out of the, I'm assuming what it is, or I'm assuming what you're thinking or feeling. You tell me, prospect. You teach me, lead. Because here's the thing. When it comes down to objection handling, every consumer weighs their options. They look at their information. They look at the options they have. They do the math in their head, and they come up with an answer, right? And they do that. They say, I'm going to do it at this time or with this person or in this order or whatever, because they believe they're going to gain or avoid something. And all you're doing is you're trying to figure out, how is the math equation in their head? How have they done the math in their head? What do they think they're going to get? What do they think they're going to avoid? Because once you can understand how they've solved their own problem or how they're going to approach something, you can see, can I get them the same or better outcome faster or with me? That's all you're looking to do. But you have to get it from them first. Okay. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to tell you guys about the boot camp. We decided to rent for another year instead of buying. This is a super easy one. All right, let's go back to Michael, or who have we not heard of that has their hand up? Tushar. Tushar, we decided to rent for another year instead of buying.
Well, I understand that, but can you please tell me what's the reason? Because having your own property may build you some kind of equity and also make you some kind of profit in the near future.
Oh, man, you were doing so good, and then the plane went into the trees. When did your plane go into the trees, Tushar?
What happened?
What happened? What did you try to do? What did you just try to do?
Close.
I think I messed what should I say? Pressuring about purchasing.
You tried to change my mind. You tried to pitch me. You tried to change my mind. Do it pure. Keep the nightgown on. Don't show me the big bad wolf, Tushar, okay? And understand me. Tushar, do you know why I said I decided to rent for another year? Do you know why?
Financial issues, maybe?
No? Do you know why, Tushar? Yes. This is a yes or no question.
No.
No. So find out. Hey, Tushar, thanks for the call, but we decided to rent for another year instead of buying.
Understood. Can you please share the reason why you're having renting plans for the upcoming future?
Yes. Lots of words, but much better. No pitching.
Yeah. Need to
Good.
make it short.
You just need to understand them first. Okay, good. Let's go to
Thank you.
Molly Reagan. Hey, Molly, thanks for the call, but we decided to rent for another year instead of purchasing.
Okay, I get that. Do you have a plan after that year?
Is that direct or indirect?
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay, Molly, what do you really want to know? To have any snowball's chance
I
in
want to
hell
know
of
why,
paying
but I
off?
can't say why.
Yes. Why what? You want to know why what?
Why you're waiting another year?
Why I'm going to rent for another year instead of buying. That's what you want to know. Okay, now, formulate a question. Just don't use the word why. Hey, Molly, thanks for the call, but we decided to rent for another year instead of buying.
Okay. Is there a reason that you're waiting another year? A reason that you're going to keep renting?
Yes, there is. There is. Okay, good. That's better. We're on the right track. Somebody show Molly how we would ask that question. Sean Patterson. Sean, thanks for the call, man, but we decided to rent for another year instead of buying.
What advantage brought you to that decision to rent instead of buy?
Okay,
For another year.
better. That's better. Better. Let's see. Mark Strang. Hey, Mark, thanks for the call, man, but we decided to rent for another year instead of buying.
Well, what is it about renting for another year that you find beneficial?
Molly, did you hear that? What about renting for another year did you find beneficial or is beneficial for you? Yeah? Tushar, did you hear that question?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I need you guys all to remember one thing. The consumer's always right. Write it down. The consumer's always right. The consumer's always right. When they say, no, not yet, not with you, this is stupid, I'm not going to do it, it's too expensive, they're right. Does that offend anybody? Does that make you want to argue with me? But Dale, we're salespeople. We can't take that as an answer. I understand that. I didn't say we stopped talking to them. They are right in their own heads. Get them to tell you how they're right. Get them to tell you how they're right. Do you guys understand this? Get them to tell you how they are right. The more they tell you about how they are right, you have more ammunition for helping them change their mind. Okay? They have to change their mind. They have to change their mind. And if you want to offer them first of all, they won't accept information from us. Just, up front, because we're salespeople. Can we ever trust what a salesperson says? No. Can't trust what a salesperson says, right? Okay, so get them to tell you how they're right. All right, I'm just yelling at you guys because I want you to get this. It's going to make a massive difference in the way that you talk to people. And it's going to make a massive difference in your results. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at how much people want to tell you how right they are. And once they do that, then you can be like, oh, okay, that's how you solved the problem. I got it now. Well, what's crazy is if I could get you the same damn thing you think you're going to get, but I can get it for you faster, cheaper, easier, or more of it, would you like that instead? Okay? But you can't do that until you have permission. You can't do that until you really understand them. All right. I'm going to tell you guys about our boot camp. Good? Have you had enough of me yelling at you yet?
Can you say the way you would answer the questions now?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been given examples, Michael. We decided to rent for another year instead of buying. Oh, hey, that's fantastic. How'd you guys decide to rent instead of buying? Or, oh, got it. Great. So what's the advantage to renting for another year instead of buying? And I'm only saying instead because they said it. Yeah? If somebody says, hey, yeah, no, I'm waiting until next year to buy, I'd say, oh, great. What's important about waiting until next year? Because I'm literally saying the words back to them. Okay? They say, yeah, hey, Michael, thanks for the call, man. I'm not ready to work with an agent yet. I'd say, oh, okay, great. tell me this, when you say work with an agent, what exactly does that mean to you? That's all I'd want to know. Or, hey, yeah, we're not ready to work with an agent yet, Dale. Oh, got it. Okay. When do you guys think you would be ready to work with an agent?
And then
That's
if
it.
they kind of reply to that and be like, no, 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 we're just not ready, and then that's when you hang up, or like when do you call it quits?
So here's what I find usually, if you ask a good question, they will tell you.
Okay.
The only reason that they would shut you down and be like, no, 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 I'm not doing that, or I'm not interested, or is because they still think that your sole purpose is to change their mind or to sell them something. If they're still stuck on your sole purpose is to change my mind or sell me something, they'll reject it. And it doesn't make logical sense it doesn't answer the question, right? It's, hey, what's important about buying next year? Nope, not interested, not working with an agent. That's when you know they're not in the conversation. They're still regarding you strictly as a salesperson. And then they're rejecting the concept of what they think a salesperson is.
And then like after you ask that and then you get to know like, oh, what they are looking for in an agent, whatever, how far down the call do you start to close? Like when in the call do you be like, oh, well, I'd love to follow up with you like next week or something. Maybe I can set you up on a search. Like when do you do that part of the call?
So that's a pretty complex question. At the most basic, what I can tell you is that every single conversation, there's an intro, there's discovery, right? And usually for us with leads, it's, are you going to buy or sell something now, or do I need to build a relationship with you? And then I'm going to switch over to discovery or rapport building, right? And then I'm going to try to set up a logical close for a next step. If you are close to being ready to see houses, or I can get you to see houses, that's going to be the next step. Or if I could get you on an informational video to video meeting or face to face meeting, I'm going to shoot for that. If it's just a matter of, okay, you're really far out, you're kind of resistant, you don't have much story, I'm going to send you some valuable information, then I'm going to follow up to make sure that you got it. It's going to be that simple.
Okay.
Okay. Makes sense, everybody? Thanks for the question, Michael. All right, let's talk about the boot camp and how you guys can win $5,000 worth of training. Well, I got a bunch of them here. Okay, remember the full ride scholarship, everybody? Yes, okay, good. Our 12-week boot camp really will make you a master at setting appointments. That's what the point of this is. And so here's what the boot camp covers. It covers the lead generation skills to be able to generate more leads from more sources, the scripting and messaging skills that you need to have so that you can get more conversations and keep these people in conversations longer, the systems that you need for working them through your database and your pipeline, the processes that you need to put them through, and really kind of the mindset that you need to have so that you can enter into these conversations and convert these leads to a higher level. And our students have used these to generate up to 60 transactions per year. What the boot camp is worth. On average, the students in our training that show up, do what we tell them, and execute on these concepts and these strategies generally add around a transaction per month. And so, when trying to calculate the value of this, it's a little difficult because everybody's commissions really range. But if you think about it this way, average commissions range from $7,700 to $14,000 for a sale based on price range and broker split. So basically, the training can add an additional $92,000 to $171,000 per year in income, depending on who you are, what your price range is. And so the training value is easily valued at $22,332 per year. That comes out to about $5,583 every 12 weeks. So it's a 12-week boot camp. Here's the problem. Most agents can't invest $5,583 every 12 weeks. So instead, we price our boot camp at $2,500 for the 12 weeks. I'm just helping you understand the value of what it is that we do. You can win the full ride scholarship for the next boot camp. This says starting September 8th. I forgot to change the slide. It's not bound by a time, but you can win a full ride to the next boot camp that has not been announced yet. Which is worth $2,500. So you get $5,583 worth of training for free. You get a 9-module video training course And it was designed for inside sales agents to very quickly start converting leads into appointments. Because if you know how ISAs work, we have to pay them a base salary and get them to convert. You get daily live access to our trainers. Twice a day, we're teaching classes in what are called the power sessions. We teach these live classes similar to what I'm teaching you right now, and we have all sorts of different topics around scripting, dialogue, conversion, and we go even deeper. We're just scratching the surface with objection handling here today. And then you get placed into a small group of up to 6 other people and assigned a trainer. The trainer takes you sequentially through our training material over the 12 weeks. You get all the scripts, cheat sheets, trackers, planners that you need to really ramp up the amount of appointments that you can set and leads that you can convert. You also get access to our community of high producing agents so that you can network with other people. It's nice to be with other people, role play with other people who are doing the same thing. So here's what you have to do to enter to win the full ride scholarship. You have to fill out the scholarship application, and I'm going to drop the QR code so you can see it here. You have to attend a full webinar and stay to the end. Congratulations, you did that. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now. You can invite friends for additional chances to win. So here's how it works. You fill out, I'm going to drop the, let me drop the, where's my, hold on. I'm missing the page that has the QR code on it. Why is my QR code missing? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get you the QR code. Emily, drop the link for the application for me, please. I don't know why I'm missing this one page. And then I'll tell you about how you can get additional entries. Okay. Here we go. That one's right. Okay. Share screen 2. It's currently loading. Slideshow. There we go. Fill out the scholarship, invite additional friends. That's it. Okay. Here's your QR code to fill out the application. And basically the way this works is you can invite other people to apply for the scholarship. If somebody that you invite wins, you win too. Make sense? So if you're the only person who applies, you have 1 shot at winning. You invite 4 friends and they all apply, you've now got 5 chances to win, right? Sound good, everybody? Okay. The scholarship deadline is this Friday. We will choose a winner on Monday and let everybody know. All right? Great. So go fill this out. And then here's what I would say. Whether or not you apply for the scholarship or not, I'm just going to drop a quick poll. If you're like, hey, that scholarship is great, but I am interested in training either for the 12-week boot camp for myself or training for my team, I just dropped a poll so you can say yes on there. Either way is fine. I encourage all of you to apply for the scholarship. And whether or not you win, if you're interested in training for you or for your team, you can just say yes on the poll. You don't have to say yes on the poll in order to apply for the scholarship. Sound good? All right, everybody. I hope you learned something today. I enjoyed role-playing with you guys. Did you guys get something out of today's training? Good. Excellent. Okay. Now, I look forward to getting your applications to come through. I'd love to see you guys in the boot camp so that we can help you improve your ability to get, convert, and close more of these leads and people and appointments. All right, everybody. Great talking to you. I'll see you next time.
Can I ask a quick question, or is it too late?
Sure. Go for it.
Just a quick question. This is like the first webinar kind of thing I've ever been to. So, and I'm a new realtor. But I just wanted to ask a question. When you're making cold calls, and you have maybe like a warm lead, but they don't answer, and it's the first kind of connection between you and them, do you send a text message to them, or do you just wait and then call back like next day or something?
So we generally teach and follow a process of call, text, email with everybody.
Okay.
So we don't leave voicemails. And the only time that I would recommend that you leave voicemails is if you wanted to do so with a warm referral. However, everybody and their grandmother today reads and sends text messages.
Mm-hmm.
So when we call, if you don't answer, we will hang up and we will text you. Because
And
the
then-
likelihood that you're going to read that text message is very high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to call, text, email.
And then with that, like I was making a bunch of phone calls and then like over 100, and then everybody that didn't answer, I was sending them a text message. But out of like, I don't know, maybe 100 of the text messages that I sent, nobody answered. But the people who did answer the phone kind of thing, then I built the relationship with them and that lifted off. But the text messages, I thought they were kind of useless. So then since then I stopped. But while I got you, I wanted to ask, maybe it's the way I'm structuring my text messages because I have a little bit of a problem. I feel like I'm trying to introduce myself and put too much information, and then by the time I'm done with the typing out the text message, it's like this whole big thing. And I'm like, not even I would want to read all that. But so I don't know, what kind of information are you putting into your text messages on like the first interaction when you have to introduce yourself, like say who you're working with, whatever?
So I'd say you have really good instincts, Michael, and you're asking a very simple question to a big topic. I can't give you a straightforward answer because there's all kinds of different lead types. There's different stages that those leads are in. And so what I would say is that the least amount of, oh, this is just a salesperson reaching out to me and there's zero value or use in me answering this, the more that your message is like that, the less likely you're going to get an answer. So part of this boot camp, it might seem a little self-serving to point you this way. The boot camp specifically has texting and email training that deals with this kind of stuff to help you get responses and help you get interactions. And it's like I would be doing you a disservice by trying to give you an answer right now because your simple question has a lot of complicated answers to it.
Okay, and the boot camp, is it like a everyday kind of thing, or what does the schedule look like for the boot camp? I guess
Sure.
maybe website?
So there's three parts to it. The biggest part is you get placed into a small group, and it happens once a week, same day and time, and with the same trainer who knows who you are, knows what your goals are, and they take you through the materials sequentially. The second part are the power sessions. Those are twice daily live classes that you can also come to get additional help, to get additional reinforcement around the topics that we're teaching you, and additional practice. So really, if you look at it, if you do the math, you have up to 11 hours per week of live interactive training with our trainers. It's crazy. But we can't do it in just 1 hour a week, and you need more interaction. Some people need more, some people need less. I don't recommend that you come to all 11 hours per week. You need to be lead generating.
Yeah.
Third part you get access to, which helps explain a lot of things, especially for a newer agent like you, is the 9-module video training course. And that is self-paced. You get access to that. And that helps explain a lot of mindset and sort of strategy around how these leads are thinking, where they came from, what their different positions or mindsets are, and how you should approach them. And it starts talking about, you know how I was talking about nobody wants to talk to a salesperson, or we all have these things that we don't like. It's that kind of knowledge that we're going to lay the foundation for you to understand, because it changes your behavior once you understand those things.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
good. Fill out the application, man, to see if you can get free access to the boot camp.
Sure. Thanks, Dale. Have a great
Yeah,
rest of the day.
You're welcome, man. Good seeing all of you. I'll look forward to seeing your applications come through.
Thanks, Dale.
You're welcome.